It's truly amazing how Meghan Markle, with her knack for creating dramatic tales, wants us to believe her latest story about growing up poor. Hello friends, welcome to the King YouTube channel. Meghan Markle wants everyone to believe her Cinderella story of rising from poverty to royalty. But let's be honest, her claims of being poor are ridiculous. They're a planned attempt to gain sympathy and present herself as a self-made hero. It's a perfect example of manipulation. Her revised history is as clear as it is bold, showing she'll twist the truth for her benefit. Meghan doesn't seem to have any limit when it comes to shaping public opinion. People often mix up wealth with class. Meghan Markle represents new money, while Harry comes from old money with the noble responsibilities that go with it. This core difference creates a big divide. Although Diana and Charles were mismatched, they both came from old money and moved in the same social circles. Meghan, however, spins a story of poverty, claiming she was so poor she had to share a salad bar at Sizzler. She even falsely claimed she paid for her own education, a claim her father and brother quickly debunked. The truth is Meghan grew up in an upper-middle-class family. Her father wasn't a factory worker, he was an award-winning lighting director earning $200,000 a year, and even won the lottery. Her mother, Doria, was often absent, partying and using drugs. Thomas proudly raised Meghan, and her brother describes her childhood room as being filled with toys like a real-life Toys R Us. Meghan attended private schools, including a Catholic school and the prestigious Little Red Schoolhouse, attended by Hollywood kids. She took dance lessons, although footage shows she wasn't particularly good. Despite this, she listed on her CV, much like she once described herself as exotic Caucasian. Meghan often misses the mark when it comes to understanding her audience. She probably shared her poverty story early on to appear humble. Despite her education, she seems rude, clueless, and uninformed. I've met well-educated people who haven't read classic literature, don't appreciate fine wine or food, and pretend not to know basic things. It's not charming. Meghan, in her 40s, pretends to be naive about things like curtsying, which is clearly false. Northwestern University doesn't even offer the international communications program she claims as a double major. When I started my business and traveled, I took international business classes and learned about different cultures and laws. Meghan shows no such awareness. I also doubt she graduated, as there's no proof in her major changes on some documents. Her father even paid for her hysterectomy and to freeze her eggs for grandchildren he doesn't get to see, and he's still paying off her debts. There's a clear difference between new money and old money, and it comes down to class, something Meghan lacks. Is Meghan Markle a fraud? Absolutely. She lied about not knowing who Harry was. Almost everyone with internet access knows the British royal family, especially Princess Diana. When Diana tragically died in Paris, every news outlet covered it, mentioning her sons, Prince William and Harry. Meghan was even seen carrying a magazine featuring Catherine, Prince William's wife, years before meeting Harry. So her claim of not knowing Harry is obviously false. Many say Meghan looks at Harry with such adoration because she's an actress who knows how to pretend. Meghan understands that her time in Hollywood is limited and uses her acting skills to her advantage. Before meeting Harry, Meghan had barely appeared in any shows. No one I knew had heard of her before she married Harry. Her biggest role in Hollywood was on the low-rated TV show Suits. She realized that if she didn't find someone rich and famous before turning 40, she would never make it in Hollywood. Her main role now is playing the loving wife of a dim-witted prince. She is a fraud of the highest order, blurring the lines between real life and fiction. For her, all the world's a stage. As a side note regarding fraud, it's been reported many times that Meghan's mom, Doria Ragland, was in prison for bank fraud. This is why Mr. Markle, Meghan's father, raised her and gave her everything she wanted. She was never poor. Maybe Meghan looks at Harry with love, but what she really sees are big bags of cash, enough to make anyone look on with affection. That's why she looks at him in a trance, because in her mind she's shopping, not gazing adoringly at Harry. I don't understand the reports claiming she was a famous Hollywood actress. I had never heard of her, even though I knew about Suits. She wasn't the lead actress in it. Does she have any other Hollywood credits that would make me change my mind? I didn't find her acting noteworthy enough to be mentioned in the credits. And about her claim of being the only one to send a letter of protest to the soap makers, it was actually a classroom project everyone participated in. That's misrepresenting herself. Maybe that's why I doubt her intentions with Harry. She has manipulated poor Harry, and I hope he learns from this. I wish Harry had married a true black woman instead of someone who uses race as a crutch whenever it suits her. This is especially hurtful for me and many black people. Harry could have met attractive, intellectual black women who aren't scammers like Meghan Markle, who uses her childhood trauma to secure herself with a baby. She's not only a fraud, but she's also dangerously deceptive and crafty. Her campaign is based on her connection to Harry, who has lost everything, allowing her to portray herself as a victim. She will use this to her advantage if certain political parties win elections, ensuring she benefits fully. She has even abandoned her own father, who raised her with all his efforts. No black person would do this because they understand how their parents' support has given them an advantage in a world where racism affects their everyday lives. It's clear that Meghan benefits from her white heritage, evident in her cold abandonment of her father. The desire to silence the media reveals her team's intent to tightly control her public image. I hope Harry divorces her soon because she's a terrible person. In my family, which includes people of different nationalities and races, we value open communication about anything that makes us uncomfortable. Harry and Meghan are alike in their tendencies. Both are seen as grifters, lacking morals and class. There are no words strong enough to describe such individuals. They bring disgrace upon any community. Karma will eventually teach them life's lessons, yet they may persist in blaming others for their own shortcomings. Why doesn't Meghan embrace her black heritage and maintain her natural hair? It's puzzling why Meghan doesn't embrace her black roots and proudly display them to the world. Why does she reject her father, who supported her education, and fail to visit him in the hospital despite preaching compassion? Meghan appears to lack love and empathy for her own family, showing ingratitude. Moreover, her biological mother's appearance leans towards Latino, raising questions about her parentage. There's even a claim that Meghan had a daughter in high school raised by Samantha, which is why Samantha harbors resentment. Meghan allegedly used Samantha for personal gain and didn't invite her to her wedding. Meghan is viewed as a deceitful and malicious fraud. Her entire persona seems fabricated, but eventually she will face accountability. What goes around comes around. Numerous documented instances highlight her dishonesty, insensitivity, and poorly authenticated behavior in Africa and Australia. She's been accused of false baby bumps and more, as detailed in previous responses. It all comes down to this: if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. She's a fraud with no redeeming qualities, and he is a fool lured in by the yacht girl. There's no need to discuss this further. She is a fraud. During interviews, she has clearly exaggerated the truth. Fact-checking can confirm this. She has cut off many friends and family members, inviting Hollywood celebrities to her wedding whom she hadn't even met. Even George Clooney and his wife mentioned they hadn't met her before the wedding. There were widespread rumors about her mistreatment of staff. While these are just rumors, they suggest there may be truth to them. The 2018 letter from Jason Naff proves that cultural differences weren't the only issue. Even Jason, an American, found her behavior unacceptable. Many people from Toronto have shared their own stories, painting a picture of her unkindness. Despite feeling wronged, why did Meghan and Harry choose to air grievances in an interview with Oprah, criticizing everyone? They've left with a beautiful home, Archie, another child on the way, and lucrative deals with Netflix and Spotify. Harry claims he always wanted to leave, but their actions suggest a spiteful motive. Meghan has again severed ties with another entire family while professing to be a humanitarian. Actions speak louder than words. A more dignified approach would have been silence. As mentioned earlier, I believe she has consistently lied to advance socially and professionally. Meghan's pursuit of a Hollywood career posed no issue until her networking led her to meet Harry. She embellished her acting career to succeed in the phony world of Tinseltown. In Hollywood, many successful actors and actresses come from well-connected industry families, making it unnecessary for newcomers to struggle for opportunities. Meghan's father, an award-winning lighting director, taught her acting skills, but his credentials weren't enough to open doors for her. She then married a Hollywood director, but her prospects remained slim. According to reports, Meghan landed a role in Suits after gaining a bit of fame and making influential friends. She subsequently cruelly divorced her director husband. Before her engagement to Harry, Meghan was relatively unknown in America unless she followed Suits. None of my acquaintances were familiar with her or her background. It's clear she longed for fame. For years, Meghan was part of the cast of Suits, a low-rated cable series that didn't lead to many opportunities. As she got older, she realized her age was becoming a barrier to landing bigger acting roles in Hollywood. During this period, while living with her well-known chef boyfriend, Meghan reportedly used her connections to try to find acting roles or meet wealthy Englishmen. When she started dating Harry and became part of his world, Meghan appeared to embellish aspects of her life. I agree with her childhood friend who said Meghan admired Princess Diana and her sons. When Harry joined a charity, Meghan followed suit. It's unclear whether her interest in charity work was genuine or a strategic move to integrate into Harry's world. It's possible she networked to become part of his social circle. In her initial interview, Meghan claimed she knew little about Harry, which led to a British investigation into her intentions. She likely didn't anticipate that the UK media would uncover her falsehoods, such as her claim of paying for her college education, which must have been costly. It turned out to be untrue, and I doubt her father was lying about covering the expenses. As a result, she decided to cut him out of her life. The British public holds their royals in high regard, so attention focused on her character and numerous untruths, which were seen as more tragic than intrusive. The UK media rightly scrutinized these inconsistencies. Instead of showing empathy towards her father, Meghan used her influential connections to mount a collaborative defense and made it public. I agree with her father's decision to destroy most of her letters because they were hurtful, and he saw no effort from her to mend their relationship. Unfortunately, this wasn't the reason behind her legal action. Under pressure from her celebrity acquaintances, she sought to cover up her fabrications, prompting her to pursue legal action to hide and obfuscate her lies. Due to confidentiality regulations, Meghan also made efforts to prevent the publication of the letter. I'm concerned about her father, who is ill and has been mistreated by his daughter. He's rightfully defended himself to clear his name in light of Meghan Markle's actions. Harry likely doesn't know much about her father because he wouldn't support Meghan's actions against him. Meghan Markle has deceived herself and cannot undo it. With all the turmoil she has caused, how can this marriage endure? This question overlooks her increasing connections to a radical American group of progressive politicians and other liberals with a woke agenda of destruction. If fully understood in the UK, this should raise reasonable concerns or fears for a prince so beloved there and his future with Meghan Markle. All of this indicates that Meghan will never cease striving for the recognition and authority she has always desired. One absurd notion I've heard is that Meghan's departure caused the collapse of the royal family. Meghan is far from being as valuable as a palace cleaner. She's an unremarkable woman, not particularly bright, and a third-rate actress. She lacks the ability to wield the kind of power needed to bring down the Windsors. She and Harry will enjoy their time in California, thinking they're independent for a while. Eventually, Meghan will feel the urge to move on, leaving Harry heartbroken. If Meghan gets the settlement she desires, Harry will have custody of Archie. Otherwise, Meghan will hold on to Archie to try to deplete the royal coffers. Sadly, this is what I foresee for their future. Meanwhile, the royal family of Great Britain will continue to reign on the throne as Meghan fades into the background. Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step back as senior members of the British royal family is unlikely to signal the end of the monarchy. Throughout its extensive history, the royal family has endured numerous scandals and crises, showing resilience in adapting to evolving circumstances. While Meghan garnered significant media attention and raised concerns about the monarchy's future, the institution remains deeply entrenched in British history and society. The royal family fulfills a symbolic and ceremonial role in the United Kingdom, maintaining strong public support and interest. It's important to remember past challenges, such as the abdication crisis in 1936 when King Edward VIII chose to relinquish the throne for Wallis Simpson. Despite the turmoil of that era, the monarchy persevered and adjusted to the changes. Ultimately, the future of the royal family depends on its ability to adapt and stay relevant in an ever-changing world. Individual incidents such as those involving Meghan may spark debate and speculation, but they are unlikely to undermine the institution if she had remained. There is increasing societal awareness of significant issues like economic inequality, which is a growing concern. Many perceive the current skewed capitalist system, especially in the United States, as an insult to the intelligence of the majority. At first, Meghan pledged to uphold values of equality, fairness, and charitable activities, but her actions often appeared inconsistent with these principles. She quickly developed a reputation for being seen as entitled and demanding, drawing criticism for her extravagant spending habits. Many observers questioned whether she married Harry for financial gain, social status, or fame, and these suspicions seem to be confirmed over time. Meghan appeared to desire not only Harry's affection but also the privileges and benefits that came with his status. While other royals like Camilla have also been known for their spending, Camilla did not draw attention to her expenditures by presenting herself as a humanitarian. Camilla made a wise decision to follow her handler's advice, such as passing on the title of princess. Despite not gaining widespread popularity, she has managed to endure. This is surprising considering how beloved Diana was by the public. On the other hand, Andrew's reputation as a playboy has once again tarnished the family's image, and Fergie hasn't helped improve it either. While Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie are likable, they don't radiate a traditional royal aura. Anne, much like her mother the Queen, is incredibly hardworking but has been relegated to a minor royal role and seems content or resigned to her position. This leaves Sophie and Edward as the most steadfast members of the family. Due to his position in the birth order, Edward will always be seen as a lesser royal. William and Harry indeed stand out as the stars of the royal family. Catherine, William's wife, has exemplified the ideal royal spouse. She is intelligent, sophisticated, beautiful, poised, and just mysterious enough to maintain intrigue. Catherine is deeply maternal and devoted to her family, understanding fully the responsibilities that came with her role and fulfilling them admirably. She has proven to be a valuable asset to the monarchy. In contrast, Meghan arrived with significant personal baggage and shaped her identity through half-truths, falsehoods, and omissions. She kept her father hidden from Harry and isolated her entire family while prioritizing her mother, Doria. Her wedding was characterized by chaos and lacked the propriety expected of royal weddings. It seemed to focus more on Meghan herself rather than contributing positively to Harry or the royal family. Meghan aimed to modernize and redefine the centuries-old institution of the monarchy. However, she appeared to revel excessively in her newfound financial wealth and displayed a lack of restraint with lavish expenditures on clothing, jewelry, mansions, private jets, and other symbols of affluence. It seems like there's a mix of opinions and emotions surrounding Meghan and Harry's decisions and actions within the royal family. Meghan declining invitations to visit Balmoral due to Archie's age has sparked criticism, with some perceiving it as a source of humiliation for the Queen. There are also perceptions that Meghan and Harry have played the race card, although it's stated that the Queen welcomed Meghan warmly and treated her mother, Doria, with kindness. Comparisons have been drawn between how Meghan was received versus Catherine, suggesting Meghan had an easier entry. The sentiment expressed is that Meghan's departure from the UK could potentially cause more harm if she stays, as she's seen as divisive. There's a strong call for the royal family to cut off financial support for Harry and Meghan, as many Brits may find it unacceptable to fund their Hollywood lifestyle while they were previously paid well as working royals. This perspective reflects various viewpoints on Meghan and Harry's impact on the royal family and their future, inviting viewers to share their thoughts and engage in further discussion on these complex issues. Thank you for watching today's video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the issues discussed. Please share your opinions in the comments below. Wishing you all cheerfulness and happiness. Don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.